Hello, everybody. We still have a couple minutes yet. Let's see, that's one group. Let me go in and tell the other group. Hi, Sue. And Sue and Kathy and Jamie and Lane. Debbie. Is everybody ready for Valentine's? Hey, Baskets. Hey, Susan. Hey, Pat. Hey, Viola. Yeah, it's kind of foggy and, I don't know, misty outside. The rain's supposed to hit us tomorrow. Yeah, me too, Jamie. I've done all that I'm going to do for Valentine's. Moving on to some spring and some, I don't know, some St. Patrick's Day maybe. Do some projects. Got a couple of things in mind I haven't started yet, but hopefully they'll work out and we can move forward with those. Cool. Homemade is best. That's from the heart, right? Well, let's play the intro and get started, guys. Hi, Cynthia. Okay, guys. I know there's a few minutes, or not a few minutes, but a few seconds lag going on between scenes and stuff like that, but that's okay. I was playing around on Pinterest yesterday, day before, and I saw a few cards that I really liked. So I came across the one that I showed you guys yesterday, and that's on the splash screen and stuff that we're going to be making tonight. And when I saw that, I thought, that is a really good card for masculine cards or for female cards. But the thing that I really liked about it is for those who don't have cuddle bugs or big shots or Empress machines or Geminis, what a way for them to get texture on a card and dimension from just something that we throw away every day. So that's what inspired this card. And then I saw the other card that I liked with the pop out, and I'm like, why don't I just combine these two? So that's how tonight's card came about. And I believe both of them were Stampin' Up. I want to say Jan B. I could be wrong. I think both of the cards that I saw were both, she had done both of them, and I just kind of crossed them. So let's go over to the project camera or design space, and we will get started. I'm going to go to the project cam first. Mine, I did put some, you can use glossy accents, but I put Clear Nouveau on there just to make it kind of curl up. But this is the card that we're going to be doing. And when you open it, I don't have this one tied, you tie it. It pops out, and you still have a place where you can type a sentiment right, or stamp a sentiment, have your design space write it. So there are tons of things, tons of options you can do with this card. We were talking about it last night. You can do ducks on here, or a fish and fishing lures. Just tons of stuff that you could do and use this card for many, many different things. We've had a few more coming in. Oh, thanks, Susan. Love it. Glad that you guys are enjoying that too. Hey, Cynthia. She came in on us. Sharon, Vicky, Debbie. Debbie is on Anthony. She's not Anthony. Patricia, Louise, Elaine. We already saw Elaine, but she's saying hi to Debbie. And I think that I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. Hey, baby. Baby girl came in. But yeah, this is a nice heavyweight card, guys. So you are going to need a tie on it. And I also used, for these pieces, the only thing that I used Cricut cardstock on was the flowers right here, on the inset and these panels, because I didn't want it to be too thick or heavy. But after I got it done, I could have used the Cricut cardstock. So I think it'll be okay either way. Just remember that you're going to need a tie so that you can keep it closed. And you may not want one. It's not really that bad, but it is kind of thick. I thought about putting a double score line at the back and having it like a book, but I really didn't want to mess up the pop-up portion of that card with that. So, but there's so many things you can do. But one of the things about this card that I wanted to show you guys was a technique, because I found these dragonfly lines on Google, and it was just a PNG. But when I brought it in to just use it as a print, I'm sorry, when I tried to make an SVG, it kind of jumbled up and got big and got blurry. But I still wanted it to look stamped. So what I did was I created the base for the in the SVG and kept the lines like they were. So yeah, you might need extra postage if you're mailing these, and you will need a dimensional envelope. And if you're a patron, and I think even if you're not, I think I have shared my dimensional envelopes with you guys. So you could use a dimensional envelope on this as well so that it doesn't get crushed. But I'm all fumbly fingered trying to tie this. But it's a really cute card, really fun, and I thought that this is a good way to show you guys, I can't tie tonight, a technique using an SVG and uploading it. So your file does not contain the dragonflies, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So if you find an image on Google, how you can do that and what you can do to create your images. So let's go over to Design Space. And here we have the file. If you are a patron, you have this file. For you others, you're just going to have to come in and get it and load it up yourself, or pick another image. But right here you'll see, well, I need to fix that because it should be reading SVG and not button text. But anyway, I will fix that. Right here is your SVG. So when you click on that button, it's going to bring up the SVG for you to download and bring into Design Space. Now, I've already done mine, but I simply just went and got, I'm just going to save it and show you guys. So it's right here And I'm going to double click on it and open it up. Well, maybe I am. Let's go to Design Space, go Upload, and then Upload Image. And you can see where I did mine. Right here, I was testing out, and it looks kind of dark, but inside there's a PNG, so you're going to upload that. And here is the SVG that I created in Escal. And all I did was take this into Escal, create a shadow layer, and then I deleted this because it just didn't look right as a print and cut through there. So you'll have to, in that one file, both of these are in, but you're going to have to upload them separately. This one's going to save as a print and cut. This one's going to save as a cut. So you're just going to click on both of those and take them in to Design Space. And now you can see this is clear. You can see everything behind it. Okay? But they're sized differently. They're going to come in at a different size, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is just the way the PNG did, because all I did was save that to that file for you guys to bring in. And I Googled that image. So you guys can Google it and get that very easily. But when I tried to bring it in and, what did I do? Change it to a cut, it got all, or to draw or anything. When I did draw, it, with the right pen, it might work doing it this way. So you guys have a couple of options. If you want to draw it, you can draw it. But when I wanted to contour it out, if I click on contour, you can see that it's not really doing anything. There it goes. Last night I could not get it to do this, but you see how that is going there? Very, very slowly. It's going to bog down your Design Space. You can do it and create your shadow layer that way. Okay? Once it all gets loaded, you can come in and hide all contours. And let's make sure that it takes. Yep, it did. And then you can click out of it. But it's going to, I think it left one there. See, it just disappeared. Well, it's not really disappeared. It's just not, it's bogging down. So that's why I did it and left it as the lines in a PNG, and then I did your shadow layer. But those of you who search, you can get it like that right there once you have that. And then I believe I put it on cut and got my shadow layer. So if you find it online, that's one way of doing it. But like I said, it will bog it down just a little bit. If you can live with it, then you can do it. Yeah, it would take a while to draw, and that's why I didn't do it that way. But what I'm saying basically is if you find the image online and you don't have access to make your SVG, because I made that in Escal, you can use Inkscape. You can do several different things to make it, but if you don't, you can contour it, duplicate it, contour it, and do it that way. So there's a way for you to be able to use this file or use something that you find on Google and get a shadow layer by doing it that way. Okay? But it's just kind of tedious to let it upload, and I just got rid of it because it is going to take forever for that to do that. So we're going to leave this on a print, this one on a cut, and we're just going to size it and make sure that they're the same size. And this is 6.859. So we're going to get that SVG and we're going to just change it to 6.859 so that they are the same size. We're just going to grab them both and align center and flatten. Oops, I forgot to do one thing. What did I forget to do, guys? Yes, I can help you, and I will show you what Escal is and how I did that. Let me unflatten that. Let's come back. I forgot to change this to white. And we want to do that because white is the only color that doesn't print, because I'm cutting this out of a colored cardstock. and it's just going to print the lines on there and then cut it. So let's align it back center. So unless you want your color to print, if you're cutting on colored cardstock, make sure you change it to white. And then I'm going to flatten it. Now it's ready. It's going to print it, and then it's just going to cut the outline. And then that will give you your dragonflies. And you're just going to resize and position wherever you want them, how you want them to appear on your card. You can duplicate it. I think I did a couple of them that size. And then I just rotated them. And duplicate, and I made one even smaller. And then I made one larger. And then your card will be ready to cut if you want it to be just like the one I did. That's all there is to it. You don't have to attach if you're flattening. If you've got both of them and you flatten, Kathy, you are flattening it to that image. If my lines weren't attached, now I would want to attach all of my lines and then select both of them and flatten. But when you flatten to a shape, as long as it's in one image right here, in one section, you're good. If you've got more than 2 layers, it's not right, okay? You want to make sure that it's flattened into one layer. If I attach it, it's going to cut, it's rather than, let me just undo one. Let me unflatten that. And this is set to print, okay? And then this is set to, this is set to cut, this is set to print. But if you look over here, this is set to print and then cut. This is set to cut. So if I align those, and it may not make a difference, and then I attach, I have 2 layers. So now it's going to print the wings and then cut it. Then it's going to try to cut the shape again, so it's going to cut twice. So that's why I flatten rather than attach. If you flatten now, then you've got the same thing that I had before. So if you want to do those extra steps and attach it, you can, but you don't have to. When you flatten it to a shape, it's flat. So now it's just going to print and cut, and just like the others. That's why when I do any of my images, even like these, I put everything, I layer everything up and get it to look exactly like I want it to look. I select all and flatten. It flattens everything at one time. I don't have to worry about attach this, attach this, attach this. I don't have to do all that. I just select everything and flatten. So, but lettering, you may want to attach it first, just depending if you're doing a lot of stuff and moving it around. That way you can change it up, wording and stuff like that, and then flatten. But as long as, once you've got it flattened and you're in one little section per image, it has its just one layer, it's right. It's going to print it just like you see it and cut just the outside edge. If you have more than one layer, you're going to get more than one cut. And somebody was asking me about shortcuts a lot and how I did that. So I'm just going to open it up really quick here. Shortcuts a lot will enhance your design space, and they're forever improving design space, guys. So you know it can change all the time. Let me just get it open and slide it over here for you. Here's my library. So when you open it up, this is basically, you're going to get a little square box that says new project. You're just going to say new project on it. But all I did was I found a royalty-free image, and that Dragonfly was royalty-free, guys, so you can use it. Let's see if I can find it. I just did recents. There he is. So you can see I've got tons of them in here that I looked through to find one. So there's the Dragonfly lines, PNG. I'm just going to open it. And here he is. Okay. But he got all weird when see how he got when I update the preview. And I tried smoothing and detail and all of that. And you can see it's got 20,000 nodes. There's no possible way your Cricut is ever going to cut that. It's just not going to happen. So all I did was say okay. I didn't need that. I would just use the lines. You see all of that? Don't want that. And I just put it all together, made a union, made it one flat image. Then I right clicked, I go to Appearance, add a shadow layer, and I said, I'm just going to make it a color so you guys can see it. Say okay, and okay. I took that first layer that I brought in to trace with, and oops, no I didn't. Let me go back and undo. I forgot one step. Appearance, add the shadow layer, selected my color, and said okay, and I did a blackout. Blackout shadow. Okay. Got rid of that, just deleted it. And then I did a file, export. I'm just going to name this red SVG layer. You can make it whatever you want and save it. I made sure that it said Design Space compatible. Said okay. Go to upload, upload, browse, there it is, open it, save it. I'm going to delete that because I already have one. Select it and insert it. And there's your layer. That is not a free app. Shortcuts a Lot is a paid program. You can do it in Inkscape. I think it's called, I could be wrong guys, but I think it's called an offset layer instead of a shadow layer. But that's how easy Escal is. Escal is super easy to use. It's called Shortcuts a Lot. And we'll see if we can. It might let me put it in there. But it's Shortcuts a Lot. You get a $6.99 Dreaming Tree gift card. But that's all there is to doing that. So let's go over to the project camera and put this card together. And then if you have any more questions, we will answer those. We'll bring Shortcuts a Lot and all that stuff back and answer those as well. And I lost my, I hope I'm on the right page. Yes, I am. I lost my screen there for a second. So I've gone ahead and cut everything out. I got all my little tools here. When you cut these guys, I'm going to say cut them on intricate and use a new mat. Yeah, yes, Louise, Inkscape is harder to learn. Escal is a little bit easier. But make sure you cut these pieces on intricate and you do use a new mat, a clean mat, because they are very delicate, or change them out. The rest of it you should be okay with. So I've got everything cut here. Got my base. Got some pop dots. I've got a tape runner. Just all sorts of stuff. And the first step is to find basic center. It doesn't have to be exact, guys, but right down the middle, just run a strip of tape runner. Fold your ribbon. The ribbon is 24 inches, okay? So make sure that you cut your ribbon long enough. Just going to fold it in half. And this is just the way I do it. If you have a different way, I like to fold mine in half and then make sure that it's on the card that way, so I know where the center is. And I'm just going to press it down on that glue or that tape runner. Then I'm just going to go to the back side and run another bead. It doesn't have to be exact, just as long as that ribbon sticks while we do the next step. That's all. Hey Claudia, we're just getting started on the card, but you can go back and get some of the information that we shared through Escal and Inkscape and some print and cut and all sorts of goodies that we talked about. So then you want your panels, whatever color that you choose, and we're going to create 4 exact. You have 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. But we're not going to put the ones on the inside yet. So we're just going to glue that one down. And I'm using art glitter glue. I have the one with the pin in it. My other one's across the room. I was doing something else earlier with my little decorative thing Sue gave me. So there's our front panel. I'm just going to flip it over and do the exact same thing again. And this is a square card, so you don't have to worry about one side being oblong or anything. And that is the front and the back for now. We have one more layer going on that front. These panels I'm just going to glue together really quick. We're not going to glue them to the inside yet. And you'll see why. I might be off a little bit on that one, I think. And I did use craft cardstock on this one, guys, just because I like the look and the panel that we're putting on there. But you can totally do a color and it make this really, really pop. So here's our 2 inside panels. Okay. Now you have a strip like this, and it is scored in the middle. And you're just going to fold it. And then you're going to fold the 2 sides back. And I know this is opposite of what the card is showing, and that's correct. We want it to be like a W, okay? When we're finished, it's going to come out the other way. But for now, we're just going to do it like this. You're going to open up your base. And you're going to decide if you want yours in the middle, at the top, at the bottom, wherever you want it. And you want to just kind of line up where that goes. And all I did, basically, oops, I'm wrong. I missed a step. You want to line up. You want to figure out about where it goes on your panel, as far as in the center, top, or bottom. And then you're just going to flip it over, and just along this edge, put a little dab of glue, and then around on this edge. Stay away from your score line. You don't need it directly on there. And then just kind of judge where you want it on that first panel. And bring it right to the edge of the panel, but blending it in with that other color. So we can just move that away. So I've just got it right here on this edge. It doesn't come all the way out, it's just on the edge of this panel. And then I can fold this back this way. Then I'm going to bring this panel in, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little bit on that side and this side. And make sure that they are lined up the same height as all I'm looking for. And then I'm just going to bring, oops. We just want them to be the same height. Bring that in level. Right to the edge and press that down. And then I'm just going to fold this back as well. So it should look something like this. You're going to use that for your guide right there. That's why it's going in that direction. Make sure you've got your panels squared up. And you're going to put that right there on the fold, okay? Make sure that I'm on camera. You want that piece right there sticking out right on the fold. Don't get any glue on it. And just put some glue on your first panel. I want to make sure that it's straight. And then you're just going to close the top. Open it up and adjust it if you need to, if it's not straight. Mine looks pretty straight. And then you're going to put glue on the back side. Add some ink on the back of this piece. And then we're just going to make sure that it's square and close the back panel. And then you can put your score in the right way, making your W, and flatten it. Did everybody get that? It's just an easy way to make sure that this piece stays on straight, and then that fold stays in the center and it's not sticking out on this edge, because you don't want it to protrude from the card. So it's an easy way to make sure that you get it lined up properly. I got mine a little off because I pulled it before I was ready, but it'll be okay. And then you're going to take, and I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch me glue all of these panels together because there are 4 of them. And we're just going to do one, and I'll show you how to place them in. I might do 2. But you're going to start with your color layer. And then you're going to do your second color. And you can emboss these as well if you want. And I made sure that my flowers went in all different directions, guys. You can do yours any way you want. Just make sure before you start gluing that your flower is going to line up, that one of these pieces aren't flipped and then you can't get it to line up. So let's just make sure that we glue the right side. And place that. And then all I did was just dot a few places. I did not glue this entire thing down. It doesn't need it. It will stay. And then we're just going to line it up. Place it on the top. And then once you've done all 4 of those, just open up the card. And you just want to center those. Have a little straggler there. I need a new blade. And they're square, so it doesn't matter which way they go. But you just want to leave a little bit of width. You're going to put one on each, in between each set of score lines, all the way down. So you can get them all done. And it's easier, actually, if you put the glue on that and not on your card. That way you know that you're not going over. You don't want it to be on the base there. It doesn't really matter on these two, but these two it does matter. You don't want to get glue. So once you've got all 4 of those on, then you can put your dragonflies with pop dots or whatever you're using to decorate on the inside of the card. Like so. So that's how it's going to end up. And then you'll have that complete because your tie isn't going anywhere. That's why we put it on the first step. We don't have to punch any holes, don't have to do any of that stuff. How did I get this piece? We all throw boxes away all the time. Those flowers, Kathy, are Design Space, Access. So they are in Access. I just created I used the contour and created a shadow layer for it. So, not all boxes are created equal, just like paper. So some of them are harder to work with. And the one I used here was an Amazon box. And all I did was just get a hold and start peeling. Okay? But I found another box that's a little bit easier to peel. So that's what I'm using tonight. And I just tore it, and again, you're just going to grab an edge, doesn't matter where, and just peel back in strategic places, however you want it. No 2 cards are going to be alike. You can leave pieces like that on it, whatever you want to do. And this particular card, it's going to be a 5 by 5. So you can just peel whatever areas. It doesn't matter if it's bent in areas. None of that matters. It's just a way for you to get texture on your cards, make masculine cards, things like that. I did use my hook tool to help me in some places. And you'll find places where it's loose and things like that. Just make it whatever you want it to be. You can peel back as much as you want. And this is just a distressed look. You can spray inks on these. You can ink the edges. Lots of stuff you can do to this. I'm just going to peel just a little bit more. Different direction. And you can peel more once you start to put your card together. You're just trying to get a basic area for your card. And the way that I did it is I used my Cricut metal ruler and my True Control knife. And I just The first thing I'm going to do is trim off and give it a straight edge where I tore it. Just going to hold that down. Okay, and so I want it to be 5 by 5, so I'm going to use my ruler. I'm just going to mark me an area. And I'm just going to trim that down. And then I'm going to come in to 5 inches here. Oops, got my ruler backwards. Put it on the 5. I'm going to mark it again. Oops. And then I have my piece. You can do that first if you want, but I just wanted to get an area where I wanted to work with. And then I'm just going to peel back another layer. And that kind of looks good to me. I'm just going to leave it just like that. No rhyme, no reason. You can make it any way you want. Make sure I have my card the right way. And then we're just going to check the size. And I'm going to trim just a little bit more off on this edge. And that looks good to me. Just going to glue it down. I like that direction. Make this one go the different direction than I did this one. Yeah, you can rub it off. Yeah, there's just so many things. Like the glitter sprays, you could use those if you were going feminine with this instead of the water. And let that give it a little bit of extra color. And then you have, in the file, you have this cattails. And I chopped it off because you don't need all of that. So you're going to have a couple of pieces that fall away. Don't worry about them. You don't need them. But you're just going to kind of line that up. And this is the way that I did it so that I could... Oops, I dropped it. I dropped it. There we go. Hold it like that. Line it up. I like to line it up before I put the glue on anywhere. And just get a few pieces so I can hold it into place. And you can always do your creative stations and stuff like that if you want to go through all of that to make a sticker out of it. And then you have your water and your little sign. I'm just going to put that in here and decide where I want This is just going to lay on top of that one. So that looks good to me. And there you have it, guys. All you have to do at that point, I think this is my small one. No, this is my big one. You can pop dot these up. Anything that you want to do, any way you want to do them, give it that dimension. And I did put mine on before I put my Nuvo drops on there to make it curl. But if you want to do yours ahead of time, you can put your Nuvo on there as well. And then place them. It's a really easy card to make. Just a few steps. You could do that too, Anita. That would be cool. That would be cool. Turning it into a shaker. You've used your alcohol ink and sprayed the background too. I know there's just so many things that you can do with this card. I mean, how many of us do not have a box to throw in the trash right now? I mean, and you can see I did one vertical, I did one horizontal. And they turn out really nice. I like them for the texture. You can go feminine, masculine. You could do butterflies. You could do a hunting theme. You could do deers or ducks. Anything. Any sentiment. Lots of stuff you can do. And you can see the difference in how the wings curl up and you've got that little bit of shine to them without getting too much for a masculine card. And I just put the flowers on the center for it to show that you could go feminine with it too. This was just like a mix match to show different things you could do with these cards. And I didn't want to cover up my cattail. There we go. Maybe I can twist him. Oh, that would be cool. He could be in the grass too. Yeah, it's fun to upcycle and do that. But when I saw it, I was like, how many people don't have a Cuttlebug or a Big Shot that are looking to put texture on their cards? This is a great way until they get their machine to add that dimension and stuff. Does anybody have any questions on Design Space or anything, having any project issues, anything you need to take care of or we need to cover today? I know one of the questions, and even one of the moderators wasn't aware. When you hit Make It, because we have tons of layers on this card, let me go over to Design Space and show you guys. When you hit Make It on a project, you have, now this I had to do in 2 steps, guys, because I was doing 2 cards, but if you're just doing one, don't worry about it. I wanted mine to be a different color, so you'll have to do those separate and change those if you want. Hide one and do one. Yeah, you can change that ribbon to, even, how about cord, Debbie? The rope-like jute. That would be awesome on there. But somebody had the question about how to, once they hit Make It and they went to their machine, let me turn mine on so it can find it. once they were cutting, they asked, you know, how do you change your material without going back to make it? What can you do? If I can get mine to connect here. There it goes. So let's say that I'm cutting one out of craft cardstock, and I've cut this and I've done it and I've used my pressure, but now I'm down here and I'm going to cut this out of regular. Instead of having to go back, they were not aware that you could just click on the name of your material and get your drop down back to change your material. So you don't have to go and you don't have to set it up and you don't have to hit cancel and go back. You can change your material at any time just by clicking on the material there to get that drop down back. Some people didn't know that, so I wanted to be sure that all of you guys that were watching tonight, you do know that you can get that back at any time. Debbie, we are here. Debbie, not Anthony, right? Am I right? Debbie, we're here every Monday, and we have a Cricut only crafting group, and on the YouTube channel there's a playlist of Learning Design Space videos. So if you need help, reach out to the group anytime. Somebody's always there to answer. Somebody will get to you, so we will help you. I do teach classes on occasion at Hobby Lobby when it's needed, and I set up that Cricut only set of videos just like I teach a class, with the exception of actually making the projects. In the class I do show them how to assemble and stuff. Yay, Elaine, you know, as long as one person learns something new, then we covered something. But yeah, anytime you're setting up and you go to a different mat, if you're cutting vinyl from one and iron on from the next, you can just select your material and get your list back, come over and change it, and then go to your next mat. When you go to that mat, whatever material you're cutting, you can go right back. Yay, more than one person didn't know that. Oh, I'm glad that we covered it. Yay. Yes, Anita. I have a Patreon group as well, and my patrons come first, all my patron supporters. So we're always there to help you guys, always. Plus, if you're a patron, you get all my files already set up. And guys, I am working on that. Tomorrow I will finish it up. Just in case you guys didn't know, if you go to www.craftingwith, did I spell that right? Nope. .co, not .com. No M on the end. If you go to the page, hopefully I'm still logged in. If you're a patron, $2 or less, you get the design files. $5, you get the design and the exclusive. And $10, you get the exclusive, the design files, and the monthly SVGs. But you can click on those and go to the, whenever we do projects and things like that, you will find all the projects here. You just click on it and it will open up the file for you in Design Space, and you can go right into making it. If there's a tutorial video, it will show a tutorial video. So you're never alone. Just like tonight's file, it is there. I just have to change some text that didn't take. And I will be working on that design tab tomorrow as well to finish it up, and then the site will be caught up. But right here, like tonight's card, you click on that, it's going to open up in Design Space. Right here is the tutorial video, which is what we're recording right now, and then your files. So you can, oh, that's a download. You can click on Files, and they will open up right in Design Space for you. You cannot at this point delete an uploaded pattern. They are aware. We could before, we cannot now. But they are working on it, and they are going to fix that. They're working on a fix for that. I've already asked about that. Let me cancel it and go in and show you. So if you've uploaded your own pattern, uploading patterns is different than images, guys. Right here's your pattern fill. So let's just grab this one. If you wanted to pattern fill this, you would come into the fill area and change it to print, select it, change it to a pattern, and you would select your pattern. I'm just going to select something. I don't even know what that is. They are working on maybe doing a pop-up. I don't know how they're going to fix this because we can't see what the patterns are unless we bring them in. And some of them can take a long time to load. And I spoke with Anna, and she said they're working on that. Maybe a pop-up when we hover over it, that it will pop up to show us the pattern. I think that would be great. And as we wait for it to come in, it will change and put your pattern on there for your print and cut. And you can edit that pattern as far as scaling it and making it more prominent or making it larger. Moving it horizontal or vertical and flipping it and rotating it. You can do all that. But as far as going back in and selecting it and getting rid of a pattern, we don't have any way of, we don't have anything to delete it anymore. So they are aware, and it's coming. They're working. When do I do classes for Hobby Lobby? I generally do them on a Saturday. One of the stores, I have like a 3 o'clock time slot if nobody's taken it since then, because I haven't had classes in a while. Because most of the people, I refer them to the Cricut only group where I set, or the YouTube videos that I set up for class, and then they don't need the class. So if they can get it for free doing that, that's better than paying $35 for a class. The other Hobby Lobby, I can generally teach anytime I want because they don't have anybody doing any kind of classes. So I have about 4 Hobby Lobbies around me. But yeah, I offer a beginner and an advanced class whenever it's needed for those locally. So hopefully that answered your question on patterns, because it is coming. It's a little tedious right now, but they are working out the kinks, guys, and it's going to be better. I hopefully they're just going to add a bunch of stuff. Who knows? Yay, Kathy. Yeah, I try to cover everything that I can cover without overwhelming in the beginner class, and in the advanced class we cover every single thing in Design Space and everything that it does. Yeah, that's a list of videos in the group. If I can get it to... There is the Facebook group, and they're set up in units so that it knows which you can mark when you're done, and it will mark off which of the videos you've already seen. So that one's set up just like a workbook. Yeah, some of the, and there may not be anybody at that Hobby Lobby, Debbie, that even teaches the Cricut. Because I run into that a lot. They're like, people ask about classes, but we don't have anybody to teach. And I've heard some horror stories on some, and some of them go in and they say, yeah, I took the class at Joanne's or Michael's, and I knew more than the instructor. So, yay, I'm glad, Debbie. We're going to miss you till then, but I'm glad that you're going to come back and watch us. So if anybody has any questions or anything didn't get answered, or you needed me to recap anything, please don't hesitate to message me or ask in the groups. We'll be happy to help you. And always on my website, there's a contact page, so you can come in here anytime and shoot me an email right there. And don't forget about Brilliant Vinyl, guys. Got some surprises coming from those. We got some videos coming for you guys from Brilliant, which I did the tour last week and showed you. You can come right here and email me anytime. So, if you need me. What was the spray I used? I did not use any spray, but if I were going to, there's a number of things you could use. You could just use a little bit of water in a sprayer like this. Let me get back over to my camera. You could use water in a little sprayer like this, so you just mist it and don't get it too wet, and then roll it with your fingers. Or if you don't mind getting a little messy, or you could even put on gloves, you could use, they're called Glimmer Mist. And they've got like a glittery shimmer in them. You have to mix them up each time that you use them. But you could mist it with something like this. Or you could just take a stamp pad and just ink in various places and distress it that way. As far as the daubers go, the finger daubers might work, but those on the handles might depress down your cardboard pieces a little bit too much. But you could spray these with a lot of stuff. Yeah. If you meant this right here, I use Nuvo drops on this, or you can use glossy accents. Either one of those will work. Let me... I use Nuvo drops. This one dries clear, but they come in several colors. I mean, tons of colors. You can get these from Blitzy. But that's what, I used the clear on this and just smeared it on there. And then you let it dry. A thin coat like that will dry in 15 or 20 minutes. If you do dots, probably 30 minutes. If you wanted it to be glittery, now I got this for like 70 cents on clearance at Hobby Lobby. It's regular $7. But this is by Bo Bunny, but it's like a glitter paste. And you can just, I haven't opened it, you can just open it up and smear it on strategic places. So there are tons of things that you can do. And a lot of these things that I use, guys, I get from Blitzy and Scrapbook. That's Blitzy. Oops, it's not going to let me do it. I forgot that's a share sale link, so it's not going to let me. But the scrapbook link is in the description below the video. All right, guys. I am so happy that you guys joined me tonight. I thank you. Thank you to all my moderators and my patrons. And I will see you guys next Monday, if not on if I don't release a Brilliant and Crafting with April tutorial sometime this week. I hope to do so. I will be meeting with them on Wednesday, and so we're going to hash out the rest of it and get this going for you guys. Also, the Brilliant Vinyl link in the description below, guys. Let's see if I can remember. There are still some grab bags left, guys, but you cannot see them. You cannot get them unless you use this specific link. They're not available to anybody else. If you go straight to their site, it won't be there unless you use this link. But there are still some grab bags left if you guys want to get those. Some of them are HTV, some of them are vinyl, and they are divvied out specific. So when you grab a bag, if it says 651, everything in that bag is 651, so you can keep it separated. If it's Caesar Easy Weed, everything in that bag will be Caesar Easy Weed. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Monday.